Hi, everyone. I'm Matt Ricker,
And I'm Catherine White, Executive Director of the New Rochelle Chamber of Commerce.
and we're here with the brand new podcast, Chamber Chat. Joining us now is the Mayor of New Rochelle, Yadira. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And you've been mayor now for about a year.
About a year.
It's crazy how time flies, but tell us how it's going.
Yeah, 12 months and 4 days, not that anyone is counting. And I would say it has been a whirlwind. I sometimes still don't respond to mayor. I'm still getting used to the title.
Right.
And I feel like every single day I learn at least one new thing, usually about 20 new things, but at least one new thing either about the city or urban planning or like our position in the region. And so it's been a very humbling, eye-opening, but actually also very gratifying experience.
That's great. Now, what are some goals that you have for the coming year in 2025?
There's so many goals. I'll try to be succinct and concise. I mean, we just launched the Vanguard District.
Right.
In our downtown, which is really an opportunity for us to experiment a little bit on what modern activation of the first floors look like. I sort of stay away from the word retail. That's my own personal preference, because when I say retail, people think stores, like shopping, like clothes, which is not that we don't need that. But it's not going to drive the market, right? So it's really thinking about opportunities for people to want to come downtown, and what does that look like? It's more restaurants, it's more what they call third spaces, but fun opportunities, experiential opportunities for music. I read an article in the New York Times yesterday about the proliferation of golf simulators in the boroughs, for example, with empty pharmacy stores. They seem to be the square footage.
Really?
So really thinking about what are things that are working in other cities, other municipalities, not just big ones like New York, but similarly sized, and trying to track that. So the Vanguard lets us experiment with that. We're investing some money to help tenant improvements. So some people need to like fix their awnings or their windows or get new furniture. Some of the spaces are built but need HVAC or water, and that's expensive for a small business.
It is.
You know, I mean, you probably know, Catherine, with your work in the chamber, you hear what the businesses need and want.
If you want to take a space and make it into a restaurant, anything that's got food service, the fire suppression systems and everything coming in, it's super costly.
Right. So we're giving grants, not loans, grants to businesses once they apply to help them fit out their spaces or upgrade their spaces. And we've even gone to some of the businesses to encourage them to apply and to kind of reimagine what this looks like. We're also investing in just regular soap and water, cleaning some of the downtown.
Yep.
I'm sure Catherine would appreciate that.
Yes.
I'm thinking about lighting, thinking about how to use planters to create more intimate spaces and just make things pretty. So the Vanguard District lets us to experiment with the kinds of experiences that we want in the downtown, but allows us to reinvest in sort of its infrastructure to hopefully vitalize that. We just launched. Apps are coming in, and so one goal for 2025 is to just see how we're doing, and just see if it's successful. Today, I actually just asked for some baseline data. What are the businesses in the downtown? What are the types of businesses? What are we seeing, so we can measure ourselves and hold ourselves accountable to what's working or not working in 25.
I will say, on Anderson Plaza in the downtown area, like it looks beautiful. How everything is repaved.
Yeah.
It's so much better than like years ago where it was just the street with that like middle section. Now like you can walk around and everything is paved and everything is really clean, and there's that little donut shop over there now. So I think that was like a great unique space that was created. So it looks really good, and especially like when we had the parade and everybody was congregating over there, so it was nice to see that.
So after the parade, again, kudos to the chamber for hosting. We love it. We love it. I went to Rock and Ramen because I was chilly.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And one of the owners was there, so it was great because I was eating with my council colleague Shane Oshinloye. I was like, I'm really chilly. I just need like a bowl of good like ramen.
Exactly.
And he walked in, and we were able to talk about, for example, the Vanguard District and the grant application. Because think of that in the summer when there's jazz, maybe you could have a glass of wine and enjoy one of their bao buns while you're listening to great music with the windows open or something.
Exactly.
So how do we enhance what's already better, to your point, but how do we enhance it? So just looking at things like that. I was there when the halal guys opened, not the ribbon cutting, but the day before, and just talking to him about like why I picked New Rochelle, how exciting it is to have that brand in our downtown. I love the food anyway. Nice to be able to get it in my backyard, if you will.
Right, exactly.
So really, so that 2025 is a year of testing our own sort of test and making sure that the initiatives we're offering are actually helping to help boost that downtown. So that's one big one. We are funding the second year of our stormwater mitigation, which is like, less exciting, but floods are
key, really
Yeah.
key. And it's even in things like you don't understand. Like my son is in from the West Coast for the holidays, and we drove by Salvation Army, and he said, "It looks so good. What happened?" I said, "Well, do you remember they were completely flooded out, and that was on North Avenue."
Yeah.
And it
You're
took them a
right.
while, and now it looks so much better. And then we have residents all the time who are telling us about, areas that didn't flood that do flood now,
Yeah.
and how detrimental, what it can be to like their cars or their washing machines and things
Yeah.
like that. And it's really a setback that is unanticipated, that's not covered in a
Yep.
lot of ways, and
Yeah.
it's something that's key to so many different parts of the city now. It's not just in one area. Like I'm near water, therefore this is a flood area.
Right.
Unexpectedly, many parts of our city.
It's true. I mean, the way my phone rings and my council colleagues when it's about to rain, it's real, it's palpable, because people are just nervous, not just for property, but if they have medical conditions or
How do you get my
how am I
medicine?
going to get to my doctor's office? I
Right.
have a really big appointment scheduled. I can't reschedule it, but when it rains that bad, I can't get out of my driveway, right? So
Yeah.
it's palpable, and it spreads out to our public safety teams. We've had meetings with the fire department and neighborhoods on how they're going to get people out. So it's the second year of a 10-year plan, and we're investing in some of the core infrastructure to help mitigate. Nothing's going to stop it. Extreme weather is where
Right.
it
Is coming.
But to really kind of be proactive, and we're lucky. We've been able to get a lot of good grants from our state and county and federal partners to help us supplement the taxes that help underwrite some of those projects.
But it is a very hot topic, I have to say, because for the first time I thought about it too, I'm like, oh, this is dry. A lot of
No.
comments and response because we also amplify your meetings and,
Yes,
the
thank you.
different areas. And I'm genuinely shocked the first time how high the response was. I was like, wow, this really is a key issue. And
Yeah.
then I looked into it more with all the things coming out from the city, and I was like, wow, this really is a
Yeah.
touchstone for so many people.
No, it's true.
And I just in the past, like I'd say 2 to 5 years, the storms that we've
Yeah.
seen are just like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, like there was Hurricane Ida,
Yep.
and it goes on, and it seems like they get worse and worse,
Yep.
the storms, as as life goes on, and
Yeah.
the flooding and the mitigation plans and all that's like so important.
Yeah, no, just residents want to feel supported by their government, right?
Exactly.
And we're
Right.
advocating for them and doing the interventions that we can. And I think
Yeah.
I didn't run thinking of stormwater mitigation, but it's taken over.
But
and
it
you have
is.
to- you have to respond. That's my
Yes.
job, right? I have to respond to what's coming into my inbox, my phones, and everything else. And I think the other big thing is the link.
The
which-
link.
Are you familiar with the
Absolutely.
link?
Tell us a little about the link.
So
Yes.
I'm obsessed, so I'll try not to nerd out too much. But Memorial Highway, we're going to take, so that was built as part of urban renewal, Robert Moses project to connect I-95 to the Hutch, and ran out of money, and there was some protest about continuing it, but now there's 6 lanes of a highway by the hospital
Right.
off of Lincoln Ave. And so this project will take back some of those lanes and create a pedestrian walkway. So think of like the High Line, I like to equate it to, or if you've been to Barcelona, Las Ramblas.
Sí.
Chicago has something called Paseo Boricua. It's a Puerto Rican enclave, and the community advocated and they created a strip. It's actually bookended by the Puerto Rican flag, and
wow.
the businesses
Oh, wow.
and stores are like an homage to the Puerto Rican Chicago community. So it's a very community driven. So those are some of our influences, and it'll connect Lincoln Avenue, really Brook Street, to the train station in a nice, safe way. Bike lanes, dog parks, and just ways that you can walk. But we're going to also weave in stormwater mitigation, because Brook
course.
Street is actually a
Yeah.
brook under the street, and there's significant flooding in the community on Prince Street. And we're going to think of ways to reboost economic development. That community is a predominantly African American community. When that highway came in and then the school came down, Black businesses sort of just were not able to thrive, and we want to bring that energy back. So it's a
Right.
park with these 2 other elements. We hope to break ground about this time next year.
Okay.
Oh,
So that's
excellent.
another
That's
thing
great.
we're looking forward
Yeah,
in
and-
2025.
and that'll be
Yeah.
that'll be here before we know
Yes,
it. So
we know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that has been my key. Every time I've gone to the links, the link meetings and planning and thoughts and inspirational meetings, how to get retail in there, how to just enhance entrepreneurship within the city. Because I always feel like a lot of times we're losing our talent.
Yeah.
When I say retail, it could be an entrepreneur, it could be somebody who's working on 3D printing, somebody who's a music producer.
Yeah.
But I hate to see that our talent goes to another city.
Yeah.
Talent that we've trained within our high school that's gotten their inspiration in our city winds up somewhere else. So I would love to see as much retail in that link as possible,
Yeah.
because I'd like to reestablish that neighborhood as well. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's a walking neighborhood, but like, why is there no bank there?
No,
You know,
everything.
why is there no like place for beauty supplies? Like,
Yep.
what is someone said to me, why do I have to go, you know, to Harlem or someplace else to get what I need?
Yeah.
Why is that not here? And, you know, I would like to see that neighborhood just, you know, be self-sufficient, be
Yeah.
what it needs.
Yep,
You
yep,
know?
and have opportunities for entrepreneurship or
great.
other businesses. I mean, the other thing that's come out in talking to residents, and I lived in that neighborhood for 12 years, is like a culinary, people who are trained but don't have commercial kitchens.
Right. Oh, we desperately
So
need a
it's in it,
commercial
so
kitchen.
Off of 11 Garden, which is a new building that we opened up, the
Right.
ground floor is 1,000 square feet, and a commercial kitchen is going to come out right near
That's
the train
fantastic.
station in
Oh,
the
that's
district.
amazing.
And it'll allow, that's a 2025 project too.
Yeah.
And we'll find a way to let people use it to kind of build up their skill set and sell their food and sell, you know, have a chance to use their training in a way that allows them to become self-sufficient and or open a business. So
Right.
there's all these layers.
So
Definitely.
you know, you were talking about the grants a little earlier for the small businesses. So can you tell us what the criteria is for that, and what type of business, or what are the requirements for it?
It's so if you go to Ideally Yours, New Rochelle, it's Ideally Yours is the Instagram moniker, but if you look at it on the website, there's a application there for the Vanguard district, and it says tenant improvement there. And essentially, you can just pitch an idea. So
Okay.
right now, if you have a business in the downtown, you're like, wow, my awning really could use some help, or there's some research that awnings should kind of jut out more perpendicular to the business so people can see it from the corner. Like from the corner, you can see all of the awnings. Think of Anderson Plaza, there being like a row of awnings as you stand on North Avenue. So if you want to like zhuzh up your awning, if you want to reconfigure your seats or your chairs, you can just propose that and give some estimates and give some quotes. But there's not a specific business or particular. We're really trying to see what's out there.
Oh, that's great.
Or if you want to move into a space, or you've looked at it, but it needs the HVAC or the water, right? And like that's the
Yeah.
delta of the funding that you need. You can submit what those proposals and things look like, and then our staff will look at it, kind of
That's
make an
great.
assessment and reach out. So we're really trying to have it be a little fluid and not be so
Exactly.
prescriptive. Like being prescriptive
great.
isn't working, right? So
It
we
isn't
want to
working.
get
Yeah.
it from the
Right.
business owners and the
Yeah.
people who have done investigations. They've researched New Rochelle. They know why they want to open. They've sort of done those market and litmus tests. They just need a little something else to kind of do that investment to get them over the hill. And we just want to be there to support that.
And you know, it's interesting you mentioned about like their outdoor furniture, because we saw with COVID a rise in outdoor dining, and it's still, you know, people's habits are still that way. Like when it's typically when it's warmer out, people like to sit outside.
Yep.
But if the business doesn't have
Right.
the most updated or the most comfortable chairs or furniture,
It's
you know, this grant could
Little
help
things,
them out with
absolutely.
that. So,
You know, in Anderson Plaza in the summer, we had jazz on Thursdays.
Right, on Thursdays.
So I know it was popular.
Very
those
popular.
chairs would just be pulled out. Now imagine if all of those businesses
Yeah.
had an outdoor dining element.
Right.
And you
Yeah.
could family movie night or jazz night or another
Right.
kind of community experience, and you can enjoy
Yeah.
your meal, right? So that's the kind of energy we're trying to infuse as we ask people to apply. Is just think about it.
That's
you know,
great.
what element would you need for your customers to want to
Yeah.
spend money at restaurant while enjoying the cultural kind of community opportunity? So that's
Yeah.
to your point. Furniture, it's all these little touches. Maybe
Yeah.
even changing the lighting, right? Moving where the bar is. You know, maybe creating. At one store, I said, why don't you could create a little stage for more jazz music? Because in addition to the investment, we've changed some of the zoning. Our zoning is actually pretty strict.
That is something I'm really thrilled about, to be honest. And I'd like to see, like, depending on how it tests out in the Vanguard, if it could move to
Right.
other parts of the city.
That is the goal. That is literally the goal, is for it to move. It's to test it. So through special permit, just again, to get a sense of what kind of businesses want to move in, what are the kind of night events that they want to bring into the city. And then from there, we can create more permanent zoning that can broaden out. So this just lets us test it in a small area, but with
That's
the goal
great.
of scaling what works to the entire downtown.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the city, as I say to everyone, is long and lean. We don't have a single business center. The downtown is key in our focus. You come in, you know, on the trains in the downtown, but we have business centers, you know, on the Shore Road, and we have
Yep.
them, you know, in what I call, like, you know, the Iona College, you know, university area where we are now.
Yeah.
Then there's up, you know, in Waikagill,
You're right.
technically even parts of Golden
Horseshoe, yeah. Half of it
are
is
New
in New
Rochelle.
Rochelle proper,
Yes,
yep. Yeah.
all to the left of the post office, I think.
I
That's
believe
what
you're
they
right.
say. So we have so many different business districts, but, you know,
Yeah.
if the regulations move in all areas, it'll help business across the city.
Yeah, and we want people to think of downtown as part of New Rochelle too, right? We've sort of lost that. People would rather some people
people.
don't think of it as the place to hang out, and we want to just have all
Right.
of New Rochelle
Right.
feel comfortable to zip down North Avenue and spend their time in their downtown near their
Exactly.
near the train
Park
station.
once and everything you need is just here.
Exactly.
Walk over here and have drinks. Go over here for dinner.
Exactly.
Outside here for some entertainment. You know, so it's a one-stop place, and that's what a downtown should be, and that's what we will be again.
Yep, and we have to experiment. And what I'm grateful for this year is there's a spirit of experimenting, and we might make mistakes, right? We're not perfect. We can't, you know, we don't have a magic like glass 8 ball to tell us all the answers. But I'm really proud that the professional staff and the council is willing to kind of test things out.
Me too.
And just kind of shake it up a little bit and try something new, knowing that we might make mistakes, we might fail. People are scared of failing. Like some people, what do they say? First opportunity at learning, first attempt in learning, fail, right? You know, so
Always.
let's just like take that as an opportunity to learn and grow. But we can't continue doing what we've been doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's
not working.
Yeah, that is not,
Not working.
that is not working.
And for city to be sustainable, we need to find other revenue sources. It can't always be property taxes. It's just our property tax doesn't generate enough to cover our expenses anyway. We have to rely on other streams, and sales tax is one of them.
Right.
So final thing, tell us your most favorite thing about New Rochelle.
Whew, I've been thinking about this question all day because there's so much. I was like, do I start on the culinary side? Do I talk about like what I love raising my kids here? But at the parade, one of our colleagues said, it feels like a Hallmark movie. Like, it just feels like our own real-life Hallmark movie.
That's great.
And now it's the season for Hallmark movies,
It
right?
is,
so
right?
what's that energy, that small city town of
Tight-knit.
like a lot of pride, tight-knit, a lot of pride.
A lot of
where
pride.
You know the business owners know your kids, you know, they know your favorite coffee drink. And this is my experience. You know, I ran into John from Cafetero at the train station today, have a whole conversation. I go to Casa Roma, they know my coffee order. I went to Colombian House for soup because I was cold, and they ask about the kids. My kids walk up and down North, and like, it's just a beautiful, tight-knit city, though. But we are a city, and we have all of the different. I grew up in Queens, which is, I think, one of the most diverse counties on like the planet, right? So I grew up with a lot of diversity. I went to college in Brooklyn. Now they're very diverse. So I come to New Rochelle, and it has all of these elements, right? The food scene is amazing. The diversity, amount of people from different backgrounds, amazing. But we're so close knit, and you create so many memories with people. And as I see my kids' friends grow up, I'm like, I've known you since you were 2. Now you guys are like freshmen in middle school. You know, I'm so and so's mom. You know what I mean? And like, you just know your neighbors. You know everyone. And so I'm just so blessed to. My favorite thing is just how awesome we are. We're tight knit. We really love each other. We care for each other. We have all of the elements, and I'm just proud to be here.
Great answer.
Absolutely.
Honest answer, but yes.
Absolutely.
Well, Mayor, thank you so much for coming by, and we hope you come back soon.
Yes,
And,
invite me. I love spending time with both of you. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you, Iona.
Definitely.